So, after more than 50 schools across the country got rid of names honoring Confederate military leaders after the death of George Floyd back in 2020, a school district in Virginia is now the first that we know of to reverse course on this issue. Shenandoah County School Board voting 5-1 to restore the names of Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee, Turner Ashby at 2 of its schools. Now, critics say the reversal undoes the progress on righting historical injustices, and supporters say restoring the names is essential to honoring the heritage of the community. So let's talk about this issue from both sides. We have Gloria Carlineo joining us right now, one of the 5 school board members who voted to restore the names of these Confederate military leaders. And we'll talk to someone on the other side of it in just a minute. Thank you for coming on. Gloria, just tell me why you were a yes vote on this.
Yeah, and thank you for having me here today and being able to explain what we were really voting for, because I think that's a part of the story that a lot of the media is kind of missing, is the fact that we decided to do this as a result of the 2020 school board that actually colluded to change the names of 2 of our schools, not because we had any problems in our schools with race, but because of the politics, as you mentioned, the George Floyd riots. And they did so by exploiting the COVID restrictions that were here at the time, and they did it over the 4th of July weekend, and without any other public input. So
you didn't like the way it was handled. You didn't like the way it was handled back then. You wanted to go back and have a fair discussion about it and have a vote that represents the people. But on the merits of the issue, I want to play for you a clip of a black student, 8th grader, I believe, who talks about what it means, you know, in the black community and how people feel about this issue. Let me play that for you, and then you can respond to that. Here it is.
I'm a black student, and if the names are restored, I would have to represent a man that fought for my ancestors to be slaves. People don't take the time to think about students like me who would not be proud to graduate from a school with the name Stonewall Jackson.
So she says you don't take the time to think about students like her.
Well, that's not true. I do definitely think about people like her, and I definitely have great admiration for her. I did respond to her when she wrote to us, and I do hope that she will continue and not let other external forces.
Well, what's the response? She doesn't want to have the name Stonewall Jackson. She's a black student. She doesn't want the name of somebody who fought for the Confederacy in the Civil War. Brings up the issue of slavery, all kinds of things that we know about already. She doesn't want that on the name of her school. What is the response? She said you responded to her.
And I understand. A lot of people didn't want that. But like I said, we have to go back to, we are a nation of laws, and we have procedures for a reason. And one of the things that our policy says when we're going to change the names of the schools is that we have to take people's, the community input into consideration. So that's what we're doing. We are going to, after this, go ahead and do another policy that will, in the future, make sure that we take into consideration the community before we do any changes.
And the community is what, 90% white or more than 90% white?
Well, that school system in the southern part of the campus where those schools are, it's about a 30% minority. So it's not as predominantly white as people were making it out to be. And even though we do have a very small African-American community in those schools, we've never had any problems. In fact, just 2 decades after integration, we had the senior class president was black, which means that she was elected by the same people that now are being accused of being racist.
Well, you talk about the history of this. We can skip ahead, guys, to the quote that was in the Washington Post on the Confederate school names. This will be the last thing I want to get you to respond to, because you're focused a lot on process. And I want to ask you about the merits, the history, what it means to people. Schools across the country were renamed for Confederate leaders in the 50s and the 60s as a response from white residents who were upset about the 1954 Supreme Court decision, Brown v. the Board of Ed, which mandated desegregation of public schools. Shenandoah Stonewall Jackson High, for example, was renamed in 1959 during the state's opposition to integration. I mean, you don't have any opposition to integration now, obviously, right?
No, we don't. And
so why does the name have? Why does that was why it was named then? So in other words, like I know I get the process part, but then why not look at it and say, that was dated. Let's get rid of this. This offends people.
Well, because like I said, we have to make sure that, I know some people's feelings are going to be hurt in this, but in the end, we have policies and we have rules that we have to follow. Otherwise, we're no longer a country of laws and of rules. So we're going to do this, and we're going to come up with a new policy. And if in the future anybody wants to change it, then we're going to do it the right way.
And vote on it again. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.